Hello, Giants fans, and welcome to your Big Blue View New York Giants news roundup for Tuesday, March 8th. I'm your host, Ed Valentine of Big Blue View. And today, what we really need to talk about is the fact that the NFL on Monday set the 2022 salary cap at $208.2 million, which is where it was expected to be. And also, the league set the values for fifth year options for 2023. Let's talk about the salary cap first at $208.2 million. Your New York Giants still have a lot to do before the league season officially starts on March 16. General Manager Joe Schoen had set a goal of trimming $40 million from the team's payroll prior to the beginning of the league season on the 16th. Giants still have about $20 million to go before they are under the $208.2 million cap for 2022. And with the cuts last week of tight end Kyle Rudolph and running back Devontae Booker, saved the Giants about $7 million. So if you do the math, the Giants need to trim about another $33 million before the 16th for Schoen to reach his stated goal of $40 million. We're probably looking at a trade of cornerback James Bradberry, which would save the Giants more than $12 million. We know that the Giants are talking to Blake Martinez and Sterling Shepard about taking pay cuts. We'll see where those things go. If those guys don't take the pay cuts, it's entirely possible, probably likely, that one or both will be cut. The other thing that is widely being speculated about is a Saquon Barkley trade. Those who follow Big Blue View know that I actually favor the idea of moving on from Barkley. I think that's the best long-term move for the Giants to make. It would save the Giants $7.2 million against the salary cap. Reporting coming out of Indianapolis from the Combine indicates that the Giants appear to be willing to listen to offers for Barkley, but don't necessarily want to trade him. I think Ryan Dunleavy of the New York Post and Dan Duggan of The Athletic have both said that they do not anticipate Barkley being traded. We'll see how that all turns out. Maybe, some of that might depend on other moves that get made or don't get made, likely in terms of the Shepard or Martinez pay cut situations. We'll see how all of that unfolds. But right now, it looks like best guess is that Barkley would be a Giant in 2022. Although, like I said, I think that the best move for the Giants long term would be to move on from Saquon, but we'll see where that goes. Obviously, he's a really, really outstanding player. And if he's healthy in 2022, he'll help the Giants. I just question whether or not, no matter how well he plays in the upcoming season, I simply question whether or not it would be smart to give him a big money long-term contract. So my thought is, go ahead and take the value and move on now, but we'll see what Joe Schoen and the Giants decide to do. Other salary cap moves that they could make involve punter Riley Dixon, tight end Caden Smith, injured center Nick Gates. All of those would save the Giants a $2 to $3 million in each case, money that they desperately need at this point. So we'll see what happens. But the next week or so is likely to be very, very busy for Joe Schoen and the Giants as they try to get their salary cap house in order before free agency starts on the 16th. The other part of that to talk about is the fifth year options. The league, as I said at the beginning of the show, the league set the values for those for the 2023 season. The decisions have to be made on picking up the fifth year option or not picking up the fifth year option by May 2nd. The 2023 fifth-year option for quarterback Daniel Jones would cost the Giants $22.384 million. That is a fifth-year option that I've said multiple times I cannot see the Giants picking up. I don't see the sense in doing that. The Carolina Panthers made the mistake a year ago of picking up a fifth-year option on quarterback Sam Darnold before really getting him into their system, before seeing him play, before really fully understanding what Darnold could or could not do. I cannot see Joe Schoen, Brian Daboll being willing to commit, more than $22 million to Daniel Jones before actually seeing him play in a game, in their regime under the Daboll Mike Kafka system. So I don't think the Giants will pick up Jones's option, and I think that would be the correct decision. See what Jones does this year, make that decision down the road. Don't commit to him now for another year. The other fifth-year option, and this is one that doesn't get talked about nearly as much, involves defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence, who was taken 17th overall in that same draft in 2019, where the Giants took Daniel Jones. The fifth-year option for a defensive tackle for Dexter Lawrence would cost the Giants $10.753 million. And this one is tough. This one is interesting. If the Giants can swing it, I might be tempted to pick this one up. The Giants at some point have to begin to keep their players. They have to begin to keep guys that they drafted, guys who are good, productive players. Dexter Lawrence has never been a star. I think there's a ceiling of his ability that he hasn't quite reached yet, but he's been a good player. I can certainly see the Giants not picking up the fifth-year option for Dexter Lawrence, but I think I would pick this one up simply because it's not going to break the bank. It's not going to cost you or hurt you the way that that $22 million for Daniel Jones would, in the event that you're not happy with what you see from Jones in 2022. You can also make the same argument that I made with Jones, that, well, you haven't seen him in Wink Martindale's system, but I do believe, as I said, that the Giants do need to begin to keep players that they drafted, keep their homegrown talent, get guys second contracts. Dexter Lawrence is a good player, I believe, with room to continue to grow. Hopefully that will happen with Wink Martindale as defensive coordinator, Andre Patterson as defensive line coach. Andre Patterson, of course, guy who worked with Linval Joseph in Minnesota, guy worked with Danielle Hunter in Minnesota, several other defensive linemen who played really, really well, for the Vikings under Patterson's direction. Hopefully he will have a similar impact on Dexter Lawrence. So like I said, I would be tempted to pick up that fifth-year option. We'll see what Schoen and the Giants choose to do. And those decisions do have to get made soon. So stay tuned, Giants fans. We'll be, we'll be covering all of that at Big Blue View, at on our Facebook page, on our Instagram page, on our Twitter account at Big Blue View, and also here on YouTube, where we encourage you to subscribe if you like what you see and hear. So please do that. We always appreciate the support. Thank you as always, Giants fans. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.